The knock at the door wasn't loud, but it carried the weight of finality. I knew before I opened it. 2 officers stood on the porch, rain dripping from their caps. One held an envelope, my name scrawled across it in Emily's delicate handwriting. The same handwriting that used to leave notes in my lunchbox, telling me she loved me. Now it was attached to a restraining order. "Sir, you've been served," the taller one said. His tone was professional, detached. To him, I was just another case file. My hands trembled as I took the papers. The edges were damp, but I could still read the words clearly. Emotional abuse. Controlling behavior. Repeated questioning and harassment. Questioning. That's what she called it. Questioning. I stared at the officers, unable to form words. Then I felt it, the sharp sting in my chest, a silent scream pressing behind my ribs. They left. I closed the door. And in the silence of our empty house, I collapsed onto the floor. The first time I questioned her, it wasn't even serious. Emily had come home late. Hair slightly damp, perfume stronger than usual. I noticed the smudge of lipstick on her coffee cup that morning didn't match the shade she was wearing now. I laughed about it. Trying a new look? She smiled, kissed my cheek and said, "Just experimenting." I believed her. I always believed her. But the small things began to pile up. Text notifications that she'd swipe away when I entered the room. Her laughter echoing from the bathroom when she took a call from work. The sudden coldness at night. She said she was tired. I told myself not to overthink it. Because love is trust, right? Yet that trust started to feel like walking on glass. Every small sound made me flinch. Every unanswered message left me imagining things I didn't want to imagine. One evening I asked her directly, "Are you seeing someone else?" She froze, a glass of red wine in her hand. Her lips parted as if I'd struck her. "Are you serious?" she whispered. "After everything we've been through, you're accusing me?" "I'm not accusing," I said softly. "I'm asking." Her eyes darkened. "That is accusing." The silence stretched between us until it felt suffocating. She slammed the glass on the table, spilling wine across the white tablecloth, like blood spreading through water. "You've changed, Ethan. You're paranoid." Maybe I had changed. Maybe love can rot you from the inside out when you start doubting the person who once made you feel whole. Weeks later, she moved out for space. Said she needed time to think. I respected that, even though it gutted me. I texted once or twice. Nothing threatening, nothing cruel. Just, "I hope you're okay." She didn't reply. Then came the restraining order. The words burned into me. Emotionally abusive. That label followed me like a shadow. My boss noticed my distraction at work. My mother stopped asking about Emily. My friends, our mutual ones, chose silence. Everyone assumed the same thing. That I had done something unforgivable. I couldn't sleep. The nights were endless loops of memory and doubt. I'd lie awake, hearing her laugh in my mind. The same laugh that used to make me believe in everything good. Then one night I saw her. Not in a dream, not in memory, in person. I was driving home, and there she was, standing under the awning of a cafe. Her hand brushing against the arm of another man. He leaned in, whispered something, and she laughed. That laugh again. The same one she hadn't used with me in months. I parked across the street, my heart pounding like it wanted out of my chest. The rain blurred the windshield, but I could still see their silhouettes. The intimacy between them wasn't casual, it was practiced, familiar. So I took a photo. Just one. A shaky, rain-streaked image through the glass. Then I drove home, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. The next day I emailed her, stupidly, desperately. "You could have just told me. I wouldn't have hated you for it. But why destroy me like this?" Minutes later a reply came. "Ethan, this is harassment. I told you not to contact me again. Any further messages will be reported." Harassment. I sat at my desk, the cursor blinking at the end of her message like a heartbeat mocking me. She had rewritten the entire story. Turned my pain into aggression, my confusion into control. And the world would believe her. Because she was calm, articulate, beautiful. And I was the man she said made her feel unsafe. Days turned into weeks. I tried to move on, to accept that closure would never come. But the universe has a cruel sense of timing. It happened at a grocery store 3 months later. I was pushing a cart when I heard her voice behind me. I froze. That laugh again. I turned. She was with the same man from the cafe. Their fingers intertwined, a subtle intimacy that still cut like glass. But what froze me wasn't them. It was the little girl between them, holding both their hands. She couldn't have been more than 3 years old. The math hit me before I wanted it to. 3 years. That was during us. My vision blurred. I abandoned the cart and walked out, heart hammering so violently I thought I'd faint. That night I pulled out old photos, our wedding vacations, her smiles that now felt rehearsed. Then I looked at the photo from the cafe. Her hand on his arm. The same hand that once trembled in mine when she said, "You're the only man I've ever loved." I realized then she wasn't protecting herself with that restraining order. She was protecting her secret. I was the threat because I was the truth. Months passed before I heard from her again. A letter. Handwritten. No return address. You were right. About everything. I didn't know how to end it without becoming the villain. I was scared of losing everything, his job, my image, my comfort. I convinced myself you were the problem because it was easier than admitting I'd destroyed us. There was no apology. No remorse. Just an admission wrapped in cowardice. I read it once. Then again. Then I burned it. People think betrayal ends when the truth comes out. Doesn't. It lingers, in the way you hesitate to trust a smile, in the ache that never fully leaves your chest, in the silence you start to prefer over love. Emily didn't just break my heart. She rewrote who I was. But as the paper turned to ash in the sink, I realized something. She could take my reputation, my peace, even my sense of reality. But she couldn't take the truth. And sometimes that's all that's left.